Hey, this is Nicole here from On a Water Break. I'm going to be talking today to Tom Maeillo. It's the founder of the 1934 Foundation here. Tom, how are you?
8 off the Met and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Here, Tom, how are you?
I am good.
Oh.
I am good. Just one co-founder, myself and good friend Eric Sabach.
Oh, Eric Sabach. Okay. Yes. He does vinyls. He does flags. Yes.
Digital Marching FX.
Digital Marching FX. Yes. I do know Eric Sabach.
Good friend of mine.
Good. All right, so we're done with the Winter Guard season of things. We're on to Drum Corps, which is another reason why we have you on. But before we get into all of that, we have a thing that we do here at On a Water Break called the 32 Count Life Story. This is what you do. We'll give you 32 counts. You'll have 8 counts on the Met and then you're in. You know what I'm saying? Just like how we used to do on the field during ensemble, you know? All right. So no pressure, but it's going to happen now.
I started the activity in 1982 in the Bridgman's Feeder Corps, the Brown Cadets. I marched in the Garfield Cadets. I ran the Raiders for probably 20 years or so. Ran Cadets 2. I was on the Cadets board for some time. And now we're starting a new venture between the 34 Foundation and also Dream Performing Arts, which is a separate organization.
All right. We got you there. That's awesome. All right. A lot of people will usually crumble under the pressure of trying to put so much information into 32 counts.
Yeah.
You, my friend, did very well.
I talk too much. That's part of the problem.
And this is Trish. I can speak very highly of the Dream Performing Arts Foundation. They are the umbrella organization of my Independent Guard and V Winter Guard, and they've been doing amazing work for them too.
Awesome. That's something I didn't even know about, Trish. That's good that you brought that up. All right. Well, so Tom, that was awesome. Just want to let you know. So we're just going to calm this down a bit. One of the biggest reasons why we brought you in, especially to me, I think that this is very relevant to what's happening right now. Like everyone's getting their moving list done. They're getting moved in. They've already signed their contracts. And now they have this fee to pay. You know, there aren't a lot of foundations out there that can help because these fees are out of the astronomical.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Like I can remember struggling to pay mine. Like, do you remember doing that, Tom?
Yeah, but it was 100 years ago, so it was only about $700. You know?
See, okay, so $700, and when I marched, it was $2,300. So, and I'm a long time out. Don't let this fool you. Okay. But then, we get into now and it's like, I don't know. It feels like you have to take out a small mortgage, like a small loan.
Yeah.
But seriously, I really would like for you to dive into and tell us about the 1934 Foundation.
Well, it is brand new. Eric, his original idea was, how do we help kids who are marching in the cadets? While he and I were we had just come off the board.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to help? And simple, okay, we'll raise money and put money towards their dues, so that alumni could feel that if they donated $10 or $100 or $1,000, it was going right to the kid, not paying for insurance or food or buses or whatever. It was going to help that kid pay his or her dues.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that was going on with the cadets, leading to them unfortunately folding, it kept getting put off until about a week before they did fold. Then they saw the value in it. We had another call, but then unfortunately, the world kind of blew up on them that Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That day.
And so we took a step back and said, well, why can't we use the foundation to preserve the legacy of the cadets and still give out scholarships? Can we focus on kids that were in cadets going somewhere else? Or, any kid, Phantom, Raiders, Surf.
Anybody.
whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
we had to change the requirements of the scholarship itself. It would also then preserve the legacy because my thought was maybe in 10, 15 years, if we do this right,
Mhm.
a kid that never saw the cadets on the field might get $1,000 check from the 34 Foundation. And that's how you preserve the legacy of someone.
Okay.
He or she never saw them on the field, but just got $1,000 from their alumni,
Mhm.
whatever the dues might be at that time.
So, what are the requirements for those performers who would like to get a scholarship from the 1934 Foundation?
Well, we haven't finalized all the scholarship requirements yet because uh, we just really started about a month ago, honestly.
Mhm.
The first board meeting is, I think, in 2 weeks. And to put the board together, finalize the bylaws, finalize the scholarship parameters,
Mhm.
start doing some fundraisers. So we
Okay.
don't plan on giving out any money until obviously next year.
Okay. I was just about to ask, is this current or for the
There's
next season?
$100 in the bank right now just to get the bank account opened
Okay.
and get the insurance set up. And the website, I think you've seen it. Uh, that has just gone up,
Mhm.
but we haven't finalized the board yet. We have our 501c3 that's final. Now it's put a board together, finalize the bylaws, and obviously all the different employment practice
Uh-huh.
procedures, and start raising a few dollars.
How important do you feel like this foundation is to the drum corps activity right now?
Well, I mean, I guess in the scope of things right now, it's not very significant, but we hope within 1, 2, 5 years that we can give out as many scholarships as possible. The original goal was to get to 300,000 and maybe just live off the interest and pay out on the interest.
Mhm.
We brought in we have a financial planner who's going to help us with some of that part, maybe investing some of the money. But now that with the demise of the cadets, it's also about preserving the legacy. When you look at the website, it doesn't mention the cadets because we can't, because we don't feel like getting any letters from attorneys
Mhm.
since the cadets filed for Chapter 7.
There's the vibe in there though. You do see that and feel that. Well, that was done on purpose. Yeah, well, I mean, and I was looking, and it's funny because when I was looking through the website, I was like, this it felt, like that. And then I was like, oh, okay. And that's why I wanted to ask as well, because the foundation is basically, you said, well, excuse me, the website says it's made up of alumni, staff, and friends. Is this mainly just from cadets, or is it from other drum corps as well?
Yeah, we put out feelers on all the cadet Facebook groups, and we've had about 3 meetings so far. We range between 25 to 50 people on a Zoom call, and
Okay.
they all either marched, taught, or just fans of the cadets.
Mhm.
And they all want to do something. And we have 2 attorneys who, once the cadets shut down, we said, how are we going to do this? One is a litigation attorney for the type of claims that were the part of the demise of the cadets, and the other one's a trademark and patent attorney.
Mhm.
Help
Okay.
out of trouble in that neighborhood. That's why you
Okay.
don't see. That's why you don't see the G, the C, the chevrons, all that stuff. You don't see any of
Right.
them.
Okay. So you're just covering all your bases there. But I feel like this is going to be the launch pad of a lot of more foundations coming forward because of the need. The need is completely there right now. I have other friends of mine who will go through and has made spreadsheets that have all of the information on each drum corps and how much it actually costs. Oh, look, do we have a little guest star?
Yeah, when I tell him I have a meeting, it's tough for him to stay out of the room.
Oh, he's adorable.
Hi,
But
Tommy.
to but to, talk about that, in the years that have come, and I know we just touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but, like, the way that drum corps has definitely become extremely expensive
Oh my God.
and almost unobtainable, where it used to be very attainable. There is, I mean, and obviously, like, you can't just go for like $100 or $700, like you said. It definitely needs more, and there's a lot of kids that are marching. A lot of young performers out there who, that's not like a readily available thing.
Yeah,
Have you heard of kids like sacrificing some other things to actually march so they can pay their dues?
Oh, sure. I mean, I helped with the start of the Raiders in 1990. I became director in 2000, and I stepped down in 2016. All those years helping kids who, maybe their families couldn't, whatever the number was at that, it was tough for some kids. And then, my 1 year with C2, the dues that year were $1,600, and that was tough for some kids. I mean, one kid I remember them saying was living in a hotel with his family because they were really homeless. How do you pressure that kid into pay? When the real life problems facing their family. And then my year and a half on the cadets board, you had kids that had trouble paying that fee, whatever it happened to be that year, $4,000, $5,000.
Yeah.
Where's the solution? That's another long conversation.
No. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like when we do talk about like the price of things, like if you really go in there and like, look at a budget sheet, like every line needs to be paid for. So I get it. I just hate that it costs that much. I think we all do.
Right. The business model of a drum corps doesn't. It just doesn't. And we're spending money we don't have. We don't generate the kind of revenue to support the touring, the staff salaries. And before anybody gets angry, I'm not saying those guys and girls don't deserve the money. Bless them, they do. But so do the administrators and the volunteers to help care, feed, and drive trucks. Everybody deserves money for what they do, but it's just not there.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. You want to drink up On a Water Break Lost in Translation with Cynthia Bernard. Uncover the glitz and glamour of twirlers with On a Water Break in Rhinestones, hosted by Lexi Duda. Get the insider scoop from the stands with On a Water Break from the Stands with Cindy Berry, aka Leander Mama, and join the band family in On a Water Break family style with Stephanie Click, plus much, much more to come. Make sure to follow us on social media at On a Water Break for all the latest updates and bonus content. Got something to share or a burning question? Email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. So don't be the person that doesn't tell their friends about a water break. Make sure everyone stays hydrated. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
There are more, like I said before, there should be more foundations like the 1934, at least your dream of it, how it should be. I feel like there are, the more that I dig, I can actually find more, but that's the thing, like to dig. Like I know that you're still in the planning stages, but how will you be making, or how do you want to make this like readily available to students and performers who are going to be like marching when it's actually done?
Yeah, I mean, once we'll start marketing the website, I'm almost positive DCI used to do it. They give out information to the corps about foundation and scholarships that are out there. So we want to obviously get on that list. We've already started planning some fundraisers. Some will be up by me here in North Jersey. Some could be down in Texas where Eric's from. Trying to reach out to other alumni to run, wine tasting, things that the average person that are not drum corps related, but Joe Smith will go to it because he likes wine. He'll drop $100 to go to a wine tasting, and the money's going to go into our foundation. No one's being compensated. Really, only expenses of the foundation are going to be insurance and the website. Everything else is volunteer.
That's good. Oh, great. I really can't wait for this to come up because I feel like every year, you know what I mean? I feel like there's more. There's always more performers. There's always more kids.
Yes.
And then from those kids come parents who are like, how am I going to pay for this? and so on and so forth. I personally don't feel as if, I mean, I know it happens, but I feel like I wouldn't want to turn away a performer because I couldn't pay.
No. And 100%. That was always our philosophy with the Raiders. As Trisha mentioned, about a year ago, we started Dream Performing Arts, and Eric is an advisor on that board. We started with Envy. Trish and her group needed a home, so it was a great timing for it.
Mhm.
So we set up everything for Envy. Trish runs with her program, and I was with them in Wilder this past weekend. The kids love her. We're hoping to grow that program. We're also in a month going an indoor performing winds program for WGI, an indoor percussion program for WGI, and
Mhm.
for 2026, 27, a DCI open class.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
trying to do two things at one time here for some of us, because there are people on both boards. Figure out a way to help the kids, but also create more programs for the kids at the same time.
Right.
So they'll be like sister organizations, and hopefully in 2 or 3 years we'll look back and say, hey, we pulled it off. There's kids marching. There's money coming in.
We've got performing groups.
Yeah,
You're going all over the place. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that foundation helped Envy? Like, what was the support like?
well, how Dream helped Envy is, Trish and I have been friends for years. I saw on Facebook she was looking for help in getting the nonprofit status and all that stuff together,
Mhm.
put Envy out on the floor. And so I messaged her and said, hey, this is what we're doing. I have what you need. You have what I need.
I was just going to say that's exactly what you said to me.
Yeah, let's set up. We already had the 501c3 status, but we didn't have a program yet. We were still in the planning stages. So right away, I'm in the insurance business. I got insurance for the organization. And I think like a week later was their first rehearsal. And,
Nice, just in time.
it kind of is one of those things. Sometimes you're in the right place at the right time,
Uh-huh.
fall into place, and talk about budget, talk
And
about stuff.
Trish, I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit and talk to you about this. How was it to have that kind of support with Envy from
Oh
Dream?
my gosh, I can't even begin to tell you. So Envy happened because at the 2022 championships for our high school team, Northern Valley, I had a bunch of alums with us that day. Some of which had their 2020 season cut short, and now we are at the first live championship since 2019, and so I'm running around doing stuff. Kids came off the floor, whatever. And I would make my way up to by where the concession stands are. And a bunch of my alums come up to me and they go, we're going to have an alumni guard next year. And I said, what? And they said, yeah. And they said, oh, I said, who's gonna direct it? And they all pointed to me. And I said, who's going to teach it? And they all pointed to me. And I said, well,
Thanks for letting me know about
don't
that.
put when the question comes, who's going to pay for this? Don't point at me. So I it kind of was like a silly thing. I was like, it's really going to happen. Can we really do this? And as we started, that we took that whole summer, we mulled it around. I had the girl that was the captain in Envy this weekend. She and her sister wanted to do something together one more time. So she works with me at my high school team. She was kind of the driving force behind it. And I was like, you know what? Can we do this? So me being a Catholic school teacher, I reached out to a Catholic school that I previously worked at that closed, had an inn, got a sweetheart deal on rehearsal space. I was like, all right, well then that could work.
That is
And then
hard to come by.
it really is. And then when it came to the nuts and bolts of it, that's where Tommy just reached out to me and said exactly what he just said to you. He goes, you have what we need. We need programs. But we have what you need. We have the 503(1)C. We have the insurance. And Tommy and I, like Tommy said earlier, we'd known each other for years. We'd always wanted to work together. We never had the opportunity. So it was a marriage made in heaven, to be honest with you. And here we are. On Sunday, we completed year 2. So
Yeah, I had another girl come to me a week ago. She wants to start a winter garden. And I said, well, let's get together, talk about a budget. So the idea is that Dream is the overseeing administrator.
Mhm.
The programs run independently, under the right parameters with the child care and safety, budgeting. They're self-funded. We're trying to develop businesses for Dream. So just in case a program runs a little short at the end, we can
Mhm.
say, hey, all right, take it from here, pay it back, next year or whatever the situation might be. So we're working on developing all that.
That's great. I just think that's great. Now, do you think that the days of, because I know one of the ways that I raised money for my tour fees was to, write a letter and I mailed it off. I mailed it to anybody, like first grade teacher, band director, aunts, uncles, nana, you know, because that little $5 all the way up to, if somebody was going to give you $100, it all really mattered because it's all going to go into the same place. And basically the whole, like, some people would, back in the day when you're trying to raise money, if you were a Girl Scout, you knocked on doors. So basically, I call this the knock on doors type way of doing it. Do you think those days are gone and we would have to solely depend on programs to help these performers march?
I think it's going to have to be a little bit of everything. Those ideas that you're talking about, we used to call them the marchathons, the spinathons.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
You know, now with the internet, I guess they could reach more people. With GoFundMe,
Mhm.
the cadets had their own program that the kids could post on whatever social media platform and have people generate money. I guess it's going to be up to each organization is going to have to make sure they're helping their kids so that they
Yeah.
don't turn anybody away and we don't alienate lower middle class or lower income families from our.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, I think we're
I mean, yeah, unfortunately it's happening.
trying to be, but
Eh, yeah, and I mean, I know that a lot of people will try their hardest, and it's just like, okay, some some, if not more, of these kids, and this could fall into a completely other different podcast recording, but, like, need some adult or somebody, an authority figure to help advocate for them so that they can do
it's
this,
it's where the
you
whole
know?
model of the activity I think needs to be looked at. I've thought it for years, but we keep trying to do more with less, and it doesn't work. Like
Yeah,
we're not the NFL. It was not an endless supply of money coming.
it's
There's
true.
there's a cap.
That's why I think that you are doing such good, like, this idea, and I really can't wait to see it come to fruition because this idea is something that I think, other people can look into as
Yeah,
well.
we need a bunch of good people that don't. I appreciate your kind words, but there's a lot of good people helping me,
Mhm.
and for us, it was. For many of them, with the 34 Foundation and with Dream, it was just people that we enjoyed working with, and we said, you know what, this is our last hurrah, our legacy of what we can do in this activity. We're all getting up there. We're not 21 anymore, and what can we create that maybe will outlast us in the activity?
Gotta leave a legacy. Gotta leave a legacy. Along with your along with the 1934 Foundation, there's also another foundation that I found called, Grace Note, and, also Our Marching Counts.
Oh yeah,
So, there's a lot of drum specific, or excuse me, drum corps specific scholarship programs that are out there. So, I'm hoping that it would just be, like, kind of ripe for the picking for everyone to get into.
yeah. I mean, I hope so. We like I said, we've talked about the wine tasting. We have some contact with NFL players, retired NFL players. Maybe we could do some autograph signings.
I
Wine.
would go to that. I
Beer.
would go to that.
Yeah, listen.
I'm kidding, not kidding.
Okay, that's not going to work. That's not going to generate the revenue you need. We're trying to start businesses to help support both organizations and put more money in the pot. And,
Mhm.
the only paycheck is how well the kids do. That's the paycheck.
That is it. That is it. There is nothing better than seeing your kids out there performing their hearts out and, like, coming off the field crying because they did so well.
Yeah,
Like, mm,
that's
that's what I live for. I love those moments. Make me cry. Make me cry. So, Tom, can you tell us, like, where folks can find you, where the folks can find the 1934 Foundation? Do you have any,
the website's up.
socials?
Yeah, the website's up. The website is up, 1934foundation.org. I think the social media pages, those will be up in another couple days. Like I said, it's all really brand new. We did like a soft release of the website on some of the cadet pages, got some feedback from some people.
Mhm.
And other than that, Dream is right in the process now of redoing our website. That's dreamtoperform.org is the
Okay.
website for that. And, everything's still kind of young. And
Yeah.
hopefully, like
Hey, we caught you in your infancy, so I'm glad that we were able to, speak to you about, like, the need
I appreciate
and, also, like, what the reason why behind it, and I think it's a fantastic reason, so and, all right. Well, I wanna thank you so much for joining us and just, appeasing me with your time and our listeners as well.
it. A lot of
Hopefully, we'll talk again.
same here. Hopefully. Okay. Thank you.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.